guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I'm Mand. So in today's video I'm actually going to talk about what an empath is. So it's not going to be very long, but just maybe you are an empath, so you just want to know maybe a little bit more about it, or maybe you have somebody in your life who is an empath and you just want to learn more about it, to understand them a little bit better, why we're wired a little bit different to everybody else. As such, everybody has their own different traits, but empaths tend to be a little bit different, and I'll explain why in this video, and how I came about finding out that I was an empath, and maybe you can relate to it as well. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the video. So what is an empath? Empaths are naturally giving, spiritually attuned, and great listeners. As an empath, we tend to attract people who may have a lot of problems, or people open up to us very easily because as great listeners, they feel at ease because we feel emotions much more deeply than other people may. So that doesn't mean if you don't feel emotions deeply that like you're not a good person or something like that. That's not it. Just as empaths, we like literally feel it in our core, and we can feel other people's emotions as well. So let's say, for example, we can walk into a room and instantly we can tell what the mood is like just by the vibe or the energy. We pick up on that very, very quick. So we're very sensitive to energies. So if you're like a negative person, that can impact us massively, because sometimes we do tend to take on other people's emotions and feelings or problems as our own. So as an empath, you need to learn how to not do that, and I'll do a video on that separately because that's not what an empath is as a trait. We also have very big hearts, so we really do like helping people, and we really have a hard time saying no. That is one thing that we do find hard, is saying no. We tend to put others sometimes before ourselves, so some empaths can be quite selfless, which is a great trait to have, but you do get taken advantage of. So you do attract like a lot of people who can be narcissistic, and they tend to just use you because of your good nature. And as an empath, you're always hoping and wishing that everybody could be just great and nice and everyone get along, but that's not always the case, because we do feel things. Another thing about being an empath is we find crowds really overwhelming. So that is another thing about being an empath, that maybe somebody in your life finds it very difficult to be in maybe a closed space with a lot of people. Now I'm talking like a concert maybe, or I can't think of something else off the top of my head, but big things like that, big crowds like that can be very, very overwhelming, because there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of energy. And of course, if you don't know how to center yourself or ground yourself, it's going to feel like you've hit a brick wall, and it's really hard for an empath to deal with things like that. Also, stressful situations and certain people can trigger an empath, and that can actually cause a lot of issues. So sometimes that can cause depression, anxiety, weight gain, addictions even. Now that doesn't necessarily mean if you have like anxiety or depression that you are an empath, but it could be an indication. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know, obviously, but it actually has been scientifically proven from my research, because as an empath you tend to look into lots of stuff, but I will do another video about signs that you are an empath. You do tend to be a bit more overwhelmed by things than other people are, and hence why if you're an empath or somebody else or maybe you're going out with them or married to them, whatever may be the case, wants to be alone, it's not a reflection on they don't want to spend time with you or anything like that. It's because we get so overwhelmed by just life and energies and taking on other people's energies, we need to ground, center ourselves, and just recharge. So it's nothing as an offense. We just tend to need to back off. But roughly that is what an empath is. I really just wanted to kind of condense it for you guys, not go too much behind the science, because there is something that I read somewhere about how empaths' brains are a little bit different or something. I don't know, maybe I should have looked into that a bit more before mentioning it, but that basically is what an empath is. Short version really is, we feel things so much more than others. We pick up on vibes so much quicker. We're just we're very sensitive beings. That's what it is. You're very, very sensitive to certain things. Like I said, I'll do another video on science and stuff, but you are a very, very sensitive person. So my own story about finding out how I was an empath is a couple of years ago. I was in college and I was doing holistic therapy. So as a holistic therapist, you kind of tend to do a lot of massage and all that stuff. And I found most days when I came home from college, I was quite tired. But it's not even that. It was, I could come home one day extremely happy and just great person to be around. And other days then I could come home like really angry and aggressive maybe, or just not a nice person. And this would happen every other day. Some days I may come home more angrier than others and all that. And at the weekends I would be fine. And then the minute I go back to college, and then we were thinking, was it college that was causing it? Was I stressed or something? But it actually transpired because my mum's great help in that sense of digging a bit deeper, because I just had this feeling. I was like, no, it's more than that, because I was handling college and the work and stuff. That wasn't a problem. It had to be something else. And then I found out, because I wasn't grounding myself as I was doing a massage, I was actually picking up other people's energies. So they were feeling great, but I had taken on all their negative emotions or problems and things like that. But I also found, maybe on a night out, I could be with my friends and, people come over chatting, and people would just tell me their life story and their problems, and I'm standing there going, I don't even know who you are. Why are you telling me these things? Why are you not telling somebody else? And they're like, oh, you're such a great listener, you give great advice. And not trying to sound like, oh, I'm the best, but I found people, and still gravitate towards me, and they do tell me more probably than what they may tell your friends. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but when you don't know at the time why this is happening, and why are people telling you their problems, and why am I feeling this way when I was feeling fine 5 minutes ago, but this person came up and now I feel like all angry and anxious and I'm mad and I'm nitpicking at things. And it took me a long time. I only found out about 7-8 years ago that I was an empath, and I obviously was one my whole life, but it just wasn't a thing. There was no real label as such to it. But now that I know that is what I am, because I would get even stressed in big places. We'd say we could go to the shopping centre and it could be really busy, or inside a busy shop even, and I would just start feeling really, really anxious and overwhelmed, and I was like, I really can't handle this. And my mom would be like, what is going on with you? Why are you like this? I'm like, I don't know, I just have to leave. And I would have to leave, and it's just so disheartening. And of course, as an empath, when you go out drinking, I don't know, is this ever touched upon? It's just something I've experienced. When you drink alcohol, it tends to dampen all that. So people do still gravitate to you, but you don't take it on as much. I'm not saying go out and drink to deal with this, absolutely not. because the next day you'd feel it 100 times more. I felt anyway in my own case, and also be hungover at the same time. So you have a whole lot of stuff going on. And I would find after drinks sometimes, depending, I would feel more anxious than I would on a daily basis, and I'm an anxious person anyway. That kind of goes hand in hand with being an empath. But they're just like little things about what an empath is. My story, that's only kind of roughly touching upon the surface of how I came to know. Also, I think my mom rang. I can't remember who she rang, because I'm talking about years ago. But she was asking this person, because we couldn't find it online, and I'm only talking like 7 or 8 years ago. It's not that long ago. And she was like, is it possible that my daughter may be picking up other people's energies? And she was like, yes, it is highly possible. We were never taught that in college. We were never taught how to ground, how to protect yourself, how to not take on somebody. We were never taught that. I didn't know. I was just doing what I was told to do and feeling miserable in the process. So, guys, if you do anything that is working with people or like hands-on stuff, so whether you do hair or makeup or massage especially, please, will you just don't do what I not do. Ground yourself, center yourself, and protect your energy, because that is so important. Your energy is so, so important. So just make sure you do that. Don't be like me and make a mistake. So guys, I'm going to stop rambling now because I probably took off on a bit of a tangent. But I hope you enjoy this video. I hope it gives you a little bit of an insight what an empath is, how our brain works, tiny bit. I'll do another video on signs that you're an empath, so you kind of get more in depth. And if you like this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Of course, if you like my channel and want to hear what I have to say, not just about empaths, I actually do some paranormal haunted Ireland series as well. Please do feel free to subscribe. We'd love to have you. And if you want to be notified, hit that bell so you'll know when I have uploaded. Of course, as always, sending you so much love and light your way, guys. I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.